I have my soft pastels out in all its colors, and I'm gonna do, a floral painting. So let's get started. I have a sheet of watercolor paper here, and we're gonna get started. And I will kind of sketch out what I would like. Maybe I'm gonna have some purple flowers in here. And if you're not good at drawing, you can always find pictures of flowers online, or go out with your camera and take some pictures. You can make a print of them and trace them on there. Let's give that a little stem, just something. I'm just lightly putting these in. And because this is soft pastel, you can rub out some of the color. So if you want to change things up, you can. Maybe there's one here, one coming in here. So let's see. I've got some pictures of different flowers that I can, I'm not copying. I'm just sort of getting an idea of the shapes. And maybe a leaf in here, maybe another stem, maybe there's something back here. How about one here? Oh, and one more. They're all kind of bunched together. And maybe some stems, maybe down here is one. A small one popping up. And let's see, how about one that runs in behind here? I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to take a little bit of green. I'm just going to do the pale green right now. Maybe some of the spiked greenery right in here. Some coming down. Maybe there's just sort of giving me some ideas of what's there. Maybe some darker green underneath here. Maybe it's growing up some grasses here. Just very lightly putting in some just shapes. We can even put some of the darkers here. So once we get in, and we can start doing that. But the reason I wanted to sketch that out is because I want to try to get the background in, and I don't want to color that. So background, let's see, let's maybe put some blues. And I'm just kind of sketching those in with the side of my, and I'm going to go in with some lighter blues, kind of just varying the colors a little bit, so it's not just static one color. All right, so once I've got that, I'm going to start just lightly blending that a little bit, and then we're going to darken it. But I just wanted to start getting some color in around those petals. And I have, this is a rolled paper blending stick, and we can use that for doing some blending when we do the little flowers. Right now I'm just using my finger. We can also use paper towels. You can roll them up a little bit too. All right, that's just some basic color. Just trying to get rid of the white. We're gonna darken all that as we work our flower. So, but that's just good enough to start, so that we, if I don't get real close to the flowers or something, we do have color. So As I said, I do have paper towel. I just wipe my fingers on it. You can, like I said, you can even take the paper towel and do a little, if you got some dark areas, you can blend. But right now, our main focus is going to be our flowers. So let's get started. And I think I'm going to use, I'm going to start with some of the bright pink here. And just basically color an area in here. And doing a little blending. And this is where this comes in handy. You can sort of really blend along those edges so that you don't have the color flying everywhere out. And I'm going to go to my blues. Oh, let's go to a purple. We were talking purple. So I'm going to do the outer edges in purple and then some down here. I'm leaving it white here because I want a little brighter highlight as the petal turns. And I'm going to take my blender and blend that purple into, and we're just blending right here on the paper. You can see how it's coming in, and I'm leaving some of that bright pink there in here. Gonna blend, and then I'm gonna take and kind of lightly bring some of that purple up, but I want to leave a highlight right there. So, and I'm gonna bring it in a little bit. So we'll work the petals. We'll put some veins in there and stuff as we go along. So this one, I think I'm just gonna put, maybe a little pink in here. I do have some different reference pictures I've done. I've printed off so that I have an idea what these look like. I'm not gonna, it says I'm not copying. And there's the purple coming in, the little separator. And this one, and then I'm going to kind of lightly bring that in. And I also have pencils. So with the pencils, I can actually pick up a color and actually maybe darken an area. If I need it a little darker, I can even draw some little lines that might be coming through. So I do have the pencils. You can do without it. You don't necessarily need them, but they are helpful if you want to do some detail work in some areas. All right, we've got that. How about, let's see. How about just a little bit in here. And then I'm going to draw, kind of make that look like a cup. So this is the outer part of the flower, and that's the inner cup. And the same thing, just kind of, and leaving a little bit of highlight. This I'm going to do more in the purples, maybe even just to change it up, add a little blue tint to it. So it just changes the color up just slightly, maybe the way the light's reflecting on it. And I believe in the center here, before I get too carried away, this is just white. And then I'm going to take just a touch of the yellow. I don't want to lose that center altogether. There's that little yellow inside. And you see how I got a little bit outside? I just go in, use my little blender. It's gone. And then I'm going to darken the outside a little bit more. So now I've got that, and we'll blow the excess off. And we can keep doing layers on this. And you can even go in with your finger. All right. Here, I think I'm gonna do the same thing, little cup shape, where the outside is the darker purples. And these come in different sizes. There's some larger sizes you can use, and there's smaller ones for real detail work. And I think I'm gonna take a touch of the blue, maybe along that side. There's just a little bit of that pink. I like that pink. And we're just gonna kind of lightly and kind of blend that. My finger a little bit. All right. And here, there's a stem coming down. And kind of bring that up. We can even drag that color down a little further. And let's bring it up and kind of attach it. All right. And this, I think I'm gonna darken that. Make it look like it's outside on this side. So by darkening it, I'm gonna make it look like more it's a petal on this side turning in this way, where these are on this side. And you can still put a little bit of that. But by darkening it, it looks like the light's sort of hitting in the center, and it's cupped up like this. All right. I like that. I can get my paper towel, wipe my hands a little bit. And like I said, you can also take that. And I'm just blowing some of the excess off. And we'll go work some details in those later, but right now, let's start on another one. All right, let's go. I think I'm gonna go, let's see, here's an outer one. And this one too. And there's one kind of just folding up here a little bit. That it's coming in, and it's coming in, and of course in our center we're gonna have our little bit of yellow. Put that in right now so I don't lose it. So I am gonna and you can see the outer petals. And I'm going to take a bit of the blue. This one is more towards the blue. And just maybe a touch of pink here and there. And I don't want to lose all the white. So now I take my paper towel, I'm just kind of twisting it a little bit. Just sort of pulling those centers in a little bit. Don't want to lose that yellow. I can even go back to the whites. So if I lose too much of my white, I can do that. And of course, this one is going to be dark. It's kind of coming up. Kind of turning up from here. And make it a little bit really dark under here as that light comes up. Maybe a little highlight up on the top edges as it's catching the light. All right, I like that. Maybe these I don't want real dark, I just want, so I'm gonna put that in, and I'm going over it with the white. And blending that in. I'm gonna take a little, lift my pinks. These are kind of hidden underneath. Kind of fade it into the background a little bit more. And I'm going to have some grasses coming over there. Maybe here. There's one. I'm just trying to very lightly. Maybe you can just barely see a little yellow in there. And kind of blending that. And then I'm going to come in. I just want the impression of them down here. Okay, we got a nice one over here. This one, I'm going to go in with the white here. Not the whole thing. Here I'm just doing, because I want the outer one a little darker. Right here, a little light. Okay. Now I'm gonna there's different ways of doing it, and you can see how pale that is, but I'm going to come in and darken it. You can always darken what you are doing. It's hard to lighten it up, even though we do have the white, which you can overlay. So you can still go in and do some lightening, but all right, this one, I'm going to put that little bit of pink right there to center. Maybe a little pink on the tip there. A little pink in there. All right. Where's my yellow? Maybe you're seeing a little there. now we're going to try to darken a little bit. Here's a stem coming up. And I'm going to kind of outline. Bring that out to a point. There's one that sits behind there. In fact, I think I'm going to take a little of the blue. And there's a cluster of them right in here. We're not sure where one starts, where one ends. Darken that right in there. Kind of separate the two. This one I think I'm going to give a little point to. Define this one a little bit better. That yellow in there. So let's start getting some of the greenery in. Then we can go back and play here. So let's go in. I'm going to go in with some of our light greens. Let's give that a little bit of a, this one needs a little stem coming down. Maybe there's a stem going up there. And let's just sort of blend some of those greens in. Bit darker. And take a little bit of darker just here and there, not everywhere. And that, not too worried if it kind of, as long as it sort of stands out. And then maybe a dark one down here, getting more into the shadow area. And the same here. In fact, one can even go over top of that, so it's sort of behind. And we've got a little bit of green coming in there. And some of the darker ones here. And let's then with the dark green, maybe some grasses laying in here. And the grass just goes every which way, and then we'll add some lighter ones. And as we come out away from the flowers, of course, going to get more light, so you're going to see more highlights, colors, brighter colors. And you can even go in like a medium yellow. Don't want too much, just maybe the sun's peeking through here. Get a couple of these. This is very lightly, very, very touching. Just, I know it sounds like it's rougher than it is on the paper. Then I'm just kind of down the bottom, just kind of adding some greens. Because when I put my mat over, I'm not sure how far down I'm going. I do put little pencil marks out here to sort of give me an idea where my mat's going to go, but you can move it around depending on the shapes of your flowers. All right, so let me, how dirty my fingers are. I got all kinds of greens on them, so I'm going to wipe them off real good. And let's go in, maybe I'm going to add just a little blue here and there. Maybe it's flowers, maybe it's a little sky, little background. Even do some purples. Maybe somewhere in the background there's some more of them, and they're so far back you can't see them. So, all right. Let's see, let's pick out that one a little darker. Okay. So I think we've got a pretty good handle on this. We've got basically what we want. Now let's start working the different areas. Okay, I've got my darker blues. I can start doing some darker colors in the sky, more towards the corners. The more you rub, the softer it's going to get. Come in a little lighter blue. Maybe through this middle part. And I'm using the sort of the sharp edge here. And I'm going to go even lighter. Almost the most palest blue I have here. And then I'm going to work that in. If you want, you can even start blurring some of these edges out, or if you happen to like them sharp, that's fine. Sort of, and you'll pick up a little bit of the purples and that and kind of bring it up into the skies a little bit, but that's fine. Like color, like lots of color. I take my paper towel just around my finger and just some of these heavier marks you can work out. And you can see how you can just fade this out quite a bit. Take a cleaner spot. You can go in and fade some of these these flowers here. You can even take a spot if you want to highlight, really scrub, and you see how that got a little highlight. And that got too much, so, and I did that deliberately. let's go in. We can add more color. So, I mean, you can work just back and forth. And like I said, you do have the white that you can always, you know, put a little extra highlight in. And it blends it into a paler pink. And that's the same thing here. I can do a paler edge here. Or I can go in and darken it. It's, you look at your picture and see how it's coming out. Here, I think I'm gonna darken this one a little bit, even though it's in the background, a little further back. All right. It looks like maybe there might have been one back here. We'll give it a little more color. I think there's one. And we can even do one that's not even open yet. It's just getting ready. And we'll give it a little streak where it's in kind of a bowl here. It goes behind this. Grab my green that's in front of it. And it hasn't quite opened yet. Let's get a little highlight right there. All right. And let's give it a little sharper point. So we've got, and we can even bring a little of the purple into the stem. So we've got, and back over here, it's sort of bare. So maybe there's one here that's getting, this one's a little more open than the other one. So let's get a little bit of that pink right here where it's opening. So, and there's that little bit of pink where it's just starting to open. And right through there. And back to our greens. Maybe a little stem that's coming in here. Okay, we got some nice highlights going on here. I'm going to fade out a little bit of more of these grasses. You decide what you like. Do you like the sharp lines? Do you like it faded out more? And got my blender here. Fade that a little more. So now take a look, see what you want. If you want some sharper lines, we can even put some highlights on a few of these leaves. It's just basic yellow. And if you go over the green, you can see some highlights in there. Some of the darker grasses underneath here where it's real heavy. And you can leave these lines, just leave the lines. I mean, it gives it some interest here. And I'm gonna go in and got a blue here. I can even add some different lines there. I got a purplish pink. You can put some lines in there. So you decide, do you want it nice and pale? Do you like it faded out? Just like you're looking through it almost like a foggy morning or a mist. Or you can put some of these nice sharp pencil marks in there, pulling it out. You can even go a little darker. I have, here's a black, and just in certain areas where it's dark. I don't want that all over. I don't want a black, but you can see how you can touch it and pull just certain things out a little bit. See how you got the lines down here. You can even go over it with the purple, kind of pushing it into the, so, and where's my yellow? Maybe in here. Give it a light, just a yellow glow to that, maybe in here. So you play around. Do what you, you know, start. If you want, you can even add a butterfly up here. You know, just find a nice picture of one. You can even put some of these darker black lines down here in the grass. Just be careful, you don't want to overdo the lines here. Or and I'm just switching back and forth. So you decide how you want your flowers to look. Some of them will fade back, and you can always go back in with your little blender and fade different colors out if you get too many. Right here, I think I'm gonna give it a little more. And the green. So you decide how you want yours. I'm gonna sign this. So play around with it. Fade it out like that. And like I said, you can even have a butterfly coming in if you want. I mean, it's your painting, your picture. And I think we have a finished one. So let's get our mat and see what this looks like when we mat it up. Here's our painting with our mat on it. Take a look at it. If it looks like it needs something else, in other words, maybe some more lines down here, maybe, you can add it. Take the mat off and go ahead and add a few extra lines. Put it back on. And you can move it from side to side. You decide where you like it. I think I like it right there. And we've got another finished painting. Hope you enjoyed that.